And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, which you can catch right now on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, what have you. It's our 500th episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos, 500 consecutive weeks of pop culture. And it's a celebration for Josh Peterson and I cover the latest news and trends on the back half. And then the first half, we reminisce on the good and the bad and the indifferent times as far as what we went through over the past 500 weeks of pop culture. Plus, again, back end, we talk about Sony, Netflix, Pokemon, and more. So go ahead and check it out today. It's the 500th episode, which will be available to non members here probably tomorrow. I'll probably let you go ahead and take care of it tomorrow. It's also available on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel on YouTube. It's also available right now if you're a member. And of course, it's also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. 500 weeks of the Pop Culture Cosmos. And the Lakers Fast Break is very respectful of that because they wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this now if it weren't for the Pop Culture Cosmos, indeed. Also, as well, want to go ahead and make mention that the last game of the Lakers is on the 12th. And when we do our post game right here, this will be given away to a lucky subscriber right here at Trip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you follow him right there. Hold on. I'm going to go ahead right here. Ooh, is it over there? There it is. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, at Trip Show Shop. You can go ahead and reach out and get this one made for you right here. It's the Young Mamba skate deck. I will give one of these bad boys away to a subscriber based in the continental United States. I think we, after dealing with FedEx and looking into FedEx, we said, you know what? It's probably going to be a pain in the butt. So we'll go ahead and make sure someone wins in the continental United States as far as they're a subscriber to us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. And I will give that bad boy away. Well, I'll give one like it that looks exactly like it right there on the 12th for the Utah Jazz. And I'll have more on that. I'll make a short out there so you guys can go ahead and check it out. Plus, also put that in the notes as well. So go ahead and keep in touch with what I'm doing right here at the Lakers Fast Break. And you could be a winner of a fantastic Young Mamba skate deck, courtesy of El Rosto, courtesy of the man himself at Trip Show Shop on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube as well. Please go ahead and help him out. You can see Kobe Pillow, Gigi Pillow right there. You can see the great art right there, the canvas art right there with Kobe and Luca. That kind of quality can be yours. Just go ahead and reach out to Trip Show Shop out right there for you. But also as well, want to go ahead and mention that I am on Lakers Latest, the channel to start your morning with your Lakers recap and what's going on in the world of the Lakers. So go ahead and check it out today. Lakers Latest really needs some help because it's a fledgling network, the Fan Arc Network, and they've got a Lakers show that I host. It's called the Lakers Latest. So go ahead and like and subscribe while you're there and check it out every morning. I think they posted between 8 and 9 a.m. right there, Pacific time. And it's it for you to get your morning started right there at Lakers Latest indeed. Yes. Heading into the game, the Lakers had a lot in front of them. They had the Cleveland Cavaliers coming into town with a victory or a loss by the Phoenix Suns. The Lakers had not only a Pacific division that they could wrap up, but also as well a playoff spot they could secure with a victory or a loss by the Phoenix Suns tonight. And before the game even started, they got the best news of all. The Phoenix Suns lost in Orlando. So they earned and clinched a playoff spot and had won the Pacific Division before they even set foot on the court. But Luka back in the lineup once again. Looking forward to seeing what he could do on, after a nice 3-day weekend. Was he relaxed? Was he full of energy? Well, the answer was yes. He was back to his old self, back on the floor, back arguing and grumbling with the refs again. A little toned down, but we'll take it. He was still kind of mumbling and grumbling, didn't like that. But he did come out. scoring once again, and a big game for him indeed, not only in the first quarter, but he closed out the game with a really just great three and a dunk of all things from him. 42 points, 5 assists, 42 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds for him. LeBron James with 14, DeAndre Ayton with 18 and 9. Jake LaRavia was the story of the game after, the pointed criticisms that I think myself, John Costa, and some others have given him, that he's been struggling in the past 30 games, because he has been really struggling past 30 games. Broke out because he was part of the starting lineup tonight. 38 minutes, 14 points, perfect from the field, perfect from the line, 14 and 7 for him. Really, really good game for him. I just hope he can continue with more consistency and use this as a confidence builder going forward. Again, DeAndre Ayton, another great performance from the center position from him, 18 and 9. Getting that kind of production from the guys is just really great to see. And then also as well, want to go ahead and make mention as well. Austin Reeves with 19, still struggling from the field again, like he did against Washington, but still able to manufacture points. 19 for him. Rui with 14 off the bench. And the Lakers, after being down by 2 to Cleveland in the first quarter, outscored. And this is where the game right there is. This is where the game happened right there. In the second and third quarters, the Lakers outscored Cleveland. They outscored them 78 to 49. And once they built up the lead to around 20 to 23, they never really let it go until the end, as far as just getting it under 20. But still, they were able to cruise the victory. In fact, in the fourth quarter, Cleveland rested most of its starters before the Lakers did. And again, I said that Luka finished it off with a nice couple touches with a three and a slam. And again, the Lakers do get the victory, 127 to 113. They are now 50 wins once again, and still third place in the Western Conference. A great victory for the Lakers as they head out on the road to Oklahoma City and Dallas. Oklahoma City on Thursday, Dallas on Easter Sunday, but 50 wins for the Lakers right there, and absolutely a great victory indeed. I want to go ahead and hear what you guys have to say. El Rosto's a happy man. Looking, it's a little struggling from the field. Austin Reeves the past couple games, but let's see him work his magic in Oklahoma City and see what we'll get done from there. Because not only do they have one matchup against Oklahoma City, they've got two as a nice test leading into the playoffs. So they're going to get two nice tests, both at home and on the road against Oklahoma City. They first move out to Oklahoma City for Thursday's game. And then, of course, the next week, I believe on Thursday as well, they play them at home. So it's going to be a nice test for the Lakers coming up, and we'll see what happens there. And again, don't forget, Luka goes back home to Dallas for Easter Sunday against the Mavs as well. Yeah, Xbox is dominating indeed. I mean, if we saw in the past few games, if you're able to get production from the center spot, it makes the Lakers even more dangerous. And with Ayton and Hayes, Hayes not so much tonight, but Ayton and Hayes last night, they were terrific. This tonight, DeAndre Ayton was really solid tonight with some really solid shooting inside. So yeah, and that's what you want as far as it's concerned, production from that center spot. So it's great to see. Vern said, Gerald, I was 3 points off of Luka. I said he would get 45, but he got 42. That's okay, Vern, unless you're playing it on DraftKings. Then that's an issue. That if you were going over under 45 on that, but I think they're probably over under would have been on him for about 38 or something like that. So that's good. Yeah. Vern says, oh, it's Tuesday at a home OKC. Yes. Yes. Thank you for the correction for next Tuesday. Yes. Sunday at Dallas. And then they come back home. You're right. Tuesday is the home game against OKC. And on Thursday, they are on the road at OKC. So I wanted to go ahead and clarify that. Thank you, Vern, for the heads up on that. So once again, the Lakers do get the victory tonight. Really good for the Lakers because they have clinched a playoff spot. So has Denver. As far as tonight's action is concerned. So the Lakers and Denver both clinched their playoff spots. Can the Lakers stay ahead of the Denver Nuggets? They are now 2 games ahead of the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference. If you consider the tiebreaker, they're now 3 games ahead in the, as far as it's concerned. I know that Joe looks at the loss column, and the Lakers with 26 losses and Denver with 28. Again, 2 plus the tiebreaker on that. So again, just getting those wins. Getting those wins, that's what we need. Hopefully we can finish them off. Hopefully we can clinch third spot by after the second Oklahoma City game, because then the Lakers would have 3 games to decide what they want to do as far as resting their players or not. So hopefully we can go ahead and see some of that clinching power with the Lakers, getting enough distance between themselves and Denver to go ahead and maybe think about sitting some guys down before the end of the season to get them some extra rest. So we'll see, because that's something they couldn't do last year, if you remember, because the West was very tight as far as third through seventh in the Western Conference last year. This year, it's a little tiny little bit more spaced out. And so hopefully, again, with the Lakers having tiebreakers on Denver, Houston, and Minnesota, it could make for the Lakers being able to go ahead and rest some guys here getting close to the end of the season, which again, for a 41-year-old like LeBron, Luca, having the lion's share of the workload, and then Austin Reeves, who's been banged up at various parts of the season, taking a game off or two might help them indeed. But I have no idea, Xbox. You know me. You got the email, so you get the email same as he does when he gets it. Dodgers won 2-0. From what I remember, yes. With that again, I don't know where he's at. I don't know where he's at. So he should be hopefully here in a little bit. But Dodgers won, 4-1, I should say. They were leading 2-0 in the eighth. But yes, 4-1 is what they won by. So definitely looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Let me go ahead, because you guys, if Joey's not talking, as they call him in Australia, if John's not here or if Legend's not here, then that means I get to see more of your comments and get to focus in on what you have to say out there in the comment land. Jeremy says Joe is fashionably late as always. Mark gets Jeremy, glad to have you here on the live show. Truly appreciate it. Great to have you here as well. El Rosto, as always, my friend. Don't forget, big shout out to El Rosto, as I said before, on the skate deck. Again, we'll be giving that away as far as for subscribers in the continental United States on the 12th of April, right after the game in Utah, or the game against Utah, I should say. Jeremy said, "What's up with Mobley? Both gave Cleveland nothing, and he's on." They were expecting him to take that next step and play like he did last night, because he had some huge numbers last night, Jeremy. But he's been injured a good portion of the season. He is just not taking that next step. I think that they were thinking or hoping that he would, from all-star, like third team all-star or just all-star, or really good starter, to that next level as far as a star player is concerned. I think that's what they paid him for. They gave him the max. They paid him a ton of money because they thought he was going to develop into something more. But I guess he, again, with the kind of limitation, he never was able to, he hasn't as of yet been able to stretch out his 3-point shot to, I think, as much as what other people would like. Although he's, the fact that he's still effective at it is saying something for a 6'10" kid like that. And he's just been not able to dominate, I think, as much as what Cleveland would have liked to see. But again, he is a very good player. But is he a max player right now? Again, the playoffs will dictate that. But he had a great game yesterday. Today, not so much. It was more Jared Allen. They were force feeding Jared Allen inside, and he was very effective for a while. 18 points. He got the 18 points early on, Jared Allen did. Evan Mobley tonight, yes, came back with 6 after he had a 30-plus point game in Utah. So it's kind of that inconsistency right now we're seeing from Evan Mobley that may never allow him to get where a lot of people thought he would become as far as that kind of player. Donovan Mitchell, if you can hold Donovan Mitchell to 10 points, a guy who's being considered for one of the all NBA teams out there, to hold him tonight to 10-6. Again, that's a great job. 17 for James Harden. Yeah, just absolutely the defense that the Lakers threw out there in the second half, or excuse me, in that second and third quarter, was pretty solid, especially in that second quarter when they held them to 19 points. So that was very good to see. Again, your comments out there, love to hear from it. Vern says, yeah, if we win the next 3 games, we could lock up the 3 seed. I think if we do win the next 3 games, which includes, of course, the games against OKC, Dallas, OKC, then that probably will lock up the third seed at that point in time if we go 3-0 in that. But again, we will wait and see. Denver has to win out. Denver has to win out, and the Lakers have to go in the tank in order for them to switch places with Lakers just because of that tiebreaker, because that's exactly where we're at right now. Oh, Jeremy, thank you. Goatee looks good. Just trying out. I throw it out there every once in a while, but then when it gets too uncomfortable, I go ahead and I shave it off. But for right now, it's good. Oh, Joe's in the chat. What do you know? Dodgers win. Joe's in the chat. Joe hopefully will join us here in a minute. Once again, the Lakers do win 127 to 113. Playoffs, yes, we've clinched a playoff spot. 50 wins again this season with a chance to do more. And I'm grateful for that. I know that El Rosto, Mark and I were having a conversation about JJ Redick and how much credit he should get. And again, we were, when the Lakers were kind of fading, uh, what, Phoenix was like a game behind the Lakers, sixth and seventh place in the Western Conference earlier this calendar year. Things didn't look great, and things that he was trying weren't working. But again, with as the Lakers became more of a reality, as the Lakers became more of a problem for the rest of the NBA, a lot of that has to go to the decisions and the buttons that JJ has pushed correctly. So you got to give him a ton of credit for that as well. So again, like tonight, there were times in that second half he threw out zones that confused the Cavs and led to missed shots on their part. So again, if he's able to disguise those kinds of defenses in the playoffs and be able to get away with it, we'll have to see what happens. Because again, as a man-to-man team, they're not as good maybe as a man-to-man defense as some of the other teams in the Western Conference. But if you can implement certain defenses in the right way to throw off teams, you know what? You never know what's going to happen. Plus, if the Lakers continue to play at an offensive level like we have seen, like we saw tonight, when you're throwing 127 out there, the Lakers do have a fighting chance against anyone in the NBA. I'll say that as much. Jeremy says, why don't I feel a 20-point lead is safe for the Lakers? So stressful. They just lose focus. This team loses focus, Jeremy. And I understood that because we're watching on Discord and we saw that as far as the lead started to slip away a little bit. Just finish the game. And again, remember, as this in the fourth quarter, the Cleveland team was not playing their starters. They were out there with their backups and they were still inching down the lead little by little at times. But it wasn't until Luka hit the three, comes back with a dunk. I think Jake LaRavia got put in a shot as well. And then the Lakers got it up to 20 for a brief moment before, letting it all slip away to 14. But still, this game was never in doubt once it got halfway through that fourth quarter. And again, Cleveland didn't bother to bring back in their starters. So it looked like they were waving the white flag as well. And once again, we've completely clinched it. Yes, that is true, El Rosto. Yes, with all that had to happen was either a Phoenix loss or a Lakers win, and they win the Pacific Division again. And that's what happened. They both happened. So that makes it even better. But the Lakers clinch a playoff spot. They win the playoff as far as they win the Pacific Division with the victory tonight, 127 to 113. Again, an outstanding second quarter, 33 to 19. They scored 45 in the third. Again, if you can get this kind of offense flowing against teams like San Antonio and OKC, they do definitely have a chance. You want to hear your thoughts in the comments there. Truly appreciate you doing so. Again, I'm going to go ahead and look for you up and down for you guys what you talk about. Mobley is good, but he doesn't seem like he won't be. Yeah, I'm Fern, and I think that was his trajectory when he started out. He started out great as a rookie, and he started to put things together in the second year, and people thought that he was going to go places. In fact, that max contract that he has, or that really expensive contract that he has, signified Cleveland's confidence in him to elevate his game to that next level, but it just has never happened. And I don't think it will. I think he is who he is right now, a guy that can pop 30 and 10 on selected days, but stringing them together is probably not something he's going to do. He's going to be maybe an all-star here or there, but he's not going to be someone that we're probably talking about at the upper echelon of NBA players. I don't think. Again, he is now hitting his prime, and in doing so, it does not look like that's going to happen. But yes, once again, the Lakers do get the victory, 127 to 113. Lakers with 50 wins on the season. JSJ said that 9-game win streak was huge. Yeah, absolutely. I think it provided a lot of people with a pathway where they could see this Lakers team going far. I think before that happened, many of us did not see any scenario where this team could go or advance beyond maybe the first round in the playoffs. But now with that 9-game winning streak, now the fact that the Lakers have continued to play well after the 9-game winning streak, I think that just shows a lot of people that there is a possibility that find their way through and make an imprint in this playoffs. They don't have to wait until the retool and get other players surrounding Luka Doncic. Intel Wad with a super chat. He said, "Let's go. Next win is on Thursday. I've spoken it into existence." Yes, you have. You spoke it first on yesterday's show. FedEx again, Intel. Just FedEx is just it's FedEx. Always go with UPS. Yes, I think that was what I think Drip Show and I came to an agreement on as far as trying to get it to people out there, or just not having the faith as far as if we did a worldwide contest that it would get to people right now in today's environment with FedEx, and trusting FedEx on that. Or I think DHS is more reliable personally on international shipping. But correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, guys. But my experience, I've been more confident on worldwide shipping with DHS than FedEx. But we are going to go ahead to somebody in the United States. If you win on the 12th and you're a subscriber, you have a chance to win a beautiful skate deck, Young Mamba skate deck, courtesy of my man Drip Show. Or if you're looking at a certain type of idea in pop culture or in sports, go ahead and hit my man up on TikTok or YouTube or Twitter or Instagram at Drip Show Shop, right there for you indeed. But yes, great to have you here. Thank you so much again for the super chat. Lakers do win 127 to 113. Great to have you here. I'm sure we'll be graced by the gruff one himself, Mr. Joe Sorrell, here in a minute. Again, great to have you here. Xbox says, "Would love to be Buffkin Jay, get paid for no reason." Yes. That was a call, man, Xbox, because he had played extremely well in the G League. But I give you guys this because I often get comments where, "Oh wow, he played well in the G League. He played well in the G League." Let's go to, if you guys remember, a guy who did have a cup of coffee with the Lakers, Mac McClung, 2 or 3-time winner of the slam dunk contest. He had a cup of coffee, I think, with the Bulls after the trade deadline. He became the all-time leading scorer in the G League after a 56 or 53-point game a couple weeks ago. And you're asking yourself, okay, this kid is continuously playing in the G League and scoring at that high level. How come he can't find a regular gig in the NBA? Well, when he goes in the NBA, you understand why he cannot. His size is detriment despite his athletic ability, and he just doesn't shoot well enough from distance to keep himself in the league. That's why Mac McClung has to probably wait until expansion for him to get a regular gig, because I think he would be one of the people that might be most, or take advantage of a roster spot somewhere in the NBA once those expansion teams come in and the teams and rosters get expanded. But here today to go ahead and join me is a good man indeed. It is a guy coming back to us from I Got Next Sports Media. It is the legend himself. Legend, what's going on, my friend?
Nothing much, Gerald. Just wanted to come hop on for just a little bit before I get ready to head to bed.
I hear you, my friend. I know people are like, "Where's Legend yesterday? Where's Legend?" I'm like, "It's 1 o'clock in the morning."
I was just tired. I graded like 40, 50 something papers, and I didn't want to go to sleep at that point.
Well, thank God Joe is not a teacher, because Joe would be just doing this. Hold on, I'm going to give you my impersonation of Joe grading papers. Hold on, get my pen out, click it. F, 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 Oh, this one really sucks. F minus. F. F. There you go, indeed. But my man, it's great to have you here. Your thoughts on the Lakers? That second and third quarter, I said that they outscored the Cleveland 49, 78 to 49. They really put it together in the fourth quarter. Cleveland didn't bother bringing out back out their starters. It just seemed once the Lakers kept it around 20, that was all she wrote. Back to back, they did look a little fatigued on Cleveland's side, but putting that together, the Lakers also play back to back. And again, they're playing well as it gets closer to the end of the season at the right time. How much confidence does that give a team when they start putting things all together, not just health wise, but playing wise? Offensively, this team looks good with dashes of and moments of pretty good defense on top of it. As a team that we bashed on the defensive end for a good part of the season, they have put these things together at just the right time.
Well, before I answer that question, what's good, chat? What's good, everybody? But that's a good sign. That is a good sign just to start clicking towards the end of the season. That's when you really want to start hitting your run, getting your strides in, because this is playoff time. This is time for the real thing to pop up when everything's on the line. So they're on fire at just the right time, and this is what you're gonna need to do in order to compete with the two-man competitions of the West right now. This is what it's gonna take, and you're gonna have to be on point just like you was tonight. And this was a good showing for the Lakers, man. They came out, showed some good energy on the court, really dominated that second quarter. To me, that second quarter is what did Cleveland in at that point. That second quarter burst was just there was just no coming back from that, and they just went out here and done their job. And I mean, we're gonna get ready to see the real competition on Thursday. Though it's gonna be the big game. I mean, this might be the must watch TV at this point because Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma the one with 2-0 right now against LA this season.
Yeah, they if they win, they have the tiebreaker against the Lakers. But the Lakers do play them, like you said, on Thursday at Oklahoma City, and then followed up on Tuesday at home at the Crypt against OKC as well. Legend.
So there'll be two back-to-back big games pretty much going in with these with the Oklahoma, and this probably be a good measurement game too, just to see where you are so far against the top dog right now. So you'll have a chance to see what you look like against them, and probably come in, give yourself some confidence going into the playoff too. You don't lost 2 games to them. You don't want to lose 3, let alone 4. So you want to at least get one of these two, pretty much split it. Unless you get real greedy, you get both of them. But you want to make sure you come out these 2 games with a split, so you can give yourself some confidence knowing I can play against this team. I feel confident against this team. And if I'm Luka, you want to make an MVP case. There you go. You going against the lead candidate right now, so put it all on the line out there against him.
We'll see, my friend. But I agree with you. As far as an MVP showing, obviously Luca will try to have his say coming up on Thursday against SGA. We'll see who gets to the foul line more in that case. If I said if SGA gets 25 free throws, they're hard to beat.
Yeah.
But you better also give Luca and Austin, who also feed at the line, a that many combined free throws as well. And if you don't, then there's obviously going to be an issue there. But I will say this: when the Lakers are playing this well, and you go into a game against OKC, do you show all your cards? Because these teams that they know they're going to possibly meet somewhere down the line in the playoffs, they don't always show what they have. They don't show everything as far as it's concerned in these final days season matchups. So I'm not sure you're going to see everything from OKC, but I'm also sure that you're not going to see everything that the Lakers could throw out there on Thursday and on next Tuesday as well.
Yeah, I think you don't want to come up here and show everything that you got. You want to keep some things secret for when it really, really matters. I think both teams will come out here and show enough to try to win this game. Because honestly, both teams, you need this win. Lakers, you trying to keep Denver off your bat. Oklahoma, you trying to keep the Spurs off your bat. So both sides are going to show a good little bit of what they can do against each other, but you're going to probably keep certain things under wrap until if you run across each other in the playoff. So you're gonna see a good little bit, but you won't see everything. There's something you just don't show for regular season. Keep it for the playoff.
Absolutely. Keep it for the playoffs indeed. But again, the Lakers are going to the playoffs because they clinched a spot and also have won the Pacific Division. As Joe mentioned on last night's show, it's just a great ride for the Lakers to where we were talking about just a month or two ago when the Lakers were their season was railing. And it's funny because the amount of comments I get seem to correlate to where people's feelings are at with the Lakers. And people are feeling really good right now about the Lakers because the comments are a little less, to be quite frank. And that's a good thing if that means the Lakers are winning. When the Lakers aren't winning, as you know, legend, the 2, 300, 400 comments start popping up here in the chat. I'll get a ton of comments after the game, and as far as on YouTube, and even on Lakers latest, I'll get a few more there as well. So again, I think a lot of people are feeling really good where they're at. Jake LaRavia, I want to go ahead and single him out. I have been criticizing him as of late, and I know John has been tough on him all season. Yes, it's great that he's been able to play every game, but his last 30 games, he's struggled offensively. It's been really hard to watch, per se. But he's given you constant energy and availability, which are two great things for the Lakers. But I was worried about him finding any type of consistency going forward because if it goes down to an 8-man rotation, he might be the odd man out. But if he can continue to play like he did tonight, I'm not asking for a perfect game from him like we got tonight, 5 of 5, 2 of 2 from the line, etc. I'm just asking for some type of believability on the offensive end where you're effective enough. Because again, why is Vando not in the lineup? See, both of those guys are adequate defenders. Both of those guys are good team defenders. Both those guys give you effort on that end. But there's a reason why Vando doesn't play. And I'm hoping that Jake LaRavia still finds his way into the lineup, into the rotation as we go forward in the postseason.
Yeah, he needs to continue to get better and find his way. Because I'll be the first to say you don't want to go into the playoff still struggling, and like I said, the bench does shrinks down in the playoff, and you end up getting cut out of the rotation. So you need him to at least come out here and give you something. Because like you said, Gerald, Vando can play defense, but there's a reason why he ain't on the court. It's because of that offense. That offense is hard to watch. So he's your best defender, one of your best defenders. He got to at least give you some offense. So you need him to come out here, kind of get out the slump, get ready for the playoff himself, and ball out. Go out here, give energy, do what you've been doing, but bring some offense to the table too. But I got to ask you though, Gerald, are you a little worried about him going into the playoff?
About LaRavia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I am. I mean, not the fact that he's going to be available. Of course, he's going to be available. By the way, Into Wild, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go Lakers. El Rosto, thank you for the super chat. Highest plus minus tonight goes to LaRavia. But I am. I mean, because the sample size is the past 30 games. And the past 30 games from the offensive side of the ball, he has been underwhelming, to say the least. And I don't want to jump on the John Costa train. I'll let him go ahead and speak for himself because he is going to be here. He said he's going to be running late, but he's recording his 3-minute report here. But the stats speak for themselves. When somebody is struggling for that period of time, they have one good game. Let's see if he can string some together. I'm not asking for a perfect game from him. I'm asking him to just be competent out there on the offensive end because I know that the OKC Thunder, who you can use as a bar, as a litmus test per se, legend, they have a player in Alex Caruso who is wildly all over the place as far as on the offensive end. But he is such, and people talk about how do they keep him out there sometimes when he's really struggling from the field. Well, he stays out there because he provides, or he's literally one of the best defenders in the NBA. He can play against positional size or speed, seemingly almost against every other position that's out there. And he prefers the bigger, the better for him. So it's again with Alex Caruso, it's a difference because I think he's just a better defender than Vando or LaRavia. So LaRavia has to, when he goes out there, at least not be inconsistent. If he could just give you 7 to 10 points coming off the bench, again, that could do a world of good for a team, especially in the playoffs when it counts the most.
Yeah, it does a lot, and I say it time and time again. The last several champions, they all had depth, and that's what you need from them guys on the bench, like Jake LaRavia. You need depth. You want to win a championship, your depth has to show up. You cannot ride your starters to the moon and back. You gotta have some depth. So you need a Jake LaRavia them to show up, do their thing, and ball out. If they don't ball out, eventually it's gonna catch up on you and they're gonna bite So they have to show up. You gotta show up. You gotta ball out. That's all you can ask from them. They're not asking you to go 20, 25. They ain't asking for that. Play some good defense. Get about 10 points at least. That's all you can ask for. That is all you can ask for. But you need those bench players to show up. I don't care what anybody say. You got to have some depth. We've seen that from the last couple of champions. That's what it takes.
Yeah, so the Ruiz of the world, the Jake LaRavias of the world, the Jackson Hayes of the world, those guys have got to come off the bench and produce for the Lakers. They've got to show that they can come off and play effectively when they come off that bench. And I understand for the career for Rui as far as what he can get in the offseason, it's vital for him. But these guys, when they come off that bench, have to produce. And as I've talked about all season, this Lakers team is one of the least productive benches in the entire league. If they could not, if they can buck that trend come the playoffs and actually play effectively and actually get it to where they're a 9-man rotation as opposed to shrink it down to a 7 or 8, I think that will help the Lakers a lot. And that would be a telling sign that the Lakers may be able to go a little bit longer or a lot longer than most people anticipate.
I totally agree, Gerald. I totally agree. If they can go that deep, you probably gonna last a lot longer in that playoff than what people think you're gonna last. I think most people got them at what, second round, just about right now. You might at least jump into the conference finals, and who knows at that point what happened. You might be in the NBA finals or win the whole thing. You need your bench to show up. You know for a fact, Luka gonna be there, LeBron gonna be there. Reeves, I'm not gonna lie, I gotta see it for myself to believe on that part. Reeves, I put a question mark if he shows up. Most of your starters gonna show up. You need those bench players to show up too. You can't just rely on the starters. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think JJ Redick probably learned the most from last year when he decided to make history and be the only man to run his starters the whole second half pretty much. So I think he probably learned a lesson on that part. That you gotta bring your bench in some. And you definitely need Marcus Smart to be healthy.
Lakers win 127 to 113. Absolutely right. Marcus Smart has to be healthy. He's in the starting lineup. So El Rosto wanted to know our bench, but in the playoff setting, Rui, I think, will get some time coming off the bench. Jackson Hayes will get some time coming off the bench. They certainly both have deserved it the way they've played as of recently, with Rui 14 points today. Jackson had the big game, couple big games in recent days. Luke Kennard, again, as long as he's not killing you on defense and you're keeping him, and I said this on Discord, as long as you're keeping him active, you can't put him out there like today in the playoffs. I don't think when you put him out there 23 minutes and only giving him 2 shots, I think that's not wise. Today you were able to get away with it because Luka and they were and the starting lineup were so efficient from the floor. That's fine, but a guy like Laravia, a guy like Vando, who were at the 9th, 10th spots, those Kennard, Laravia, and Vando, I know that JJ will be going back and forth situationally in the playoffs and deciding which guy is going to be right for which situation. When Kennard's out there, you have to keep him involved because they're going to target him on the other end.
Yeah, they're gonna target all your weak defenders. That's what they're gonna do. Can't blame them. I would do that too. Oh, he can't play no defense. Go after him. Pick and roll. Bring him over here. Bring him over here. Let's go and attack him every single time. That's what's gonna happen. So you got to be able to cover your weaknesses. You got to be able to protect your weakest defender on the defensive end. So you might want to put your worst defender on a worst offensive player that you can possibly find on the court. Put him on him. Keep him over there. Keep him out of that pick and roll. Otherwise, it's gonna be barbecue chicken, and you don't want that to happen. So you gotta protect your guys. Kind of hide them a little bit. You gotta hide them.
Absolutely. But we'll see what happens. But it is great to have Legend here. Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for joining us. Truly appreciate it. The Lakers win 127 to 113 with the victory. They not only hit 50 wins, they win the Pacific Division and they clinch a playoff spot in the West. But their work is not done, Legend, because they are 2 games ahead of Denver right now in the Western Conference, 3 if you count the tiebreaker. So again, they're 2 games ahead, as Joe would say, in the loss column right now. It's important that I think that at least they get a split against OKC and a win in Dallas on Easter Sunday. If they can do that and win the next 2 or 3, I think that will go a long way for the Lakers to finally shore up that third spot in the Western Conference. I don't think they'll be able to overcome the game behind that they are against Boston, just looking way ahead on a what if scenario if both the Lakers and Boston went away all the way to the finals. I don't think that they're going to be able to overcome that 1 game deficit that they have as far as it's concerned. But and then also I think the fact that they would lose the tiebreaker because they lost head to head as well. But I do want to say that if the Lakers can go ahead, win the next 2 out of 3, I think that would go a long way with clinching that third spot. And then maybe you can think about going ahead and phasing down some of the stars or maybe having them take some time off, extra time off leading into the playoffs, which is something they didn't have the luxury of doing last year. As you know, so many teams, including Golden State, Minnesota, Houston, the Lakers, Denver, they were all involved in that really super tight race for third place last season. Again, if the Lakers can do well over the next 7 days, that could really go a long way with allowing them some extra time off, which again, with the bumps and bruises over an 82-game season, it really helps.
Yeah, you want to get as much rest as possible. You want to give your guys ample amount of time to catch a breather, get ready for the playoff. You want to go in playoff mode in the best health as possible, because it might just be 16 games, but that is a long 16 game, and it can be brutal depending on the series you go
You're
into. So
awesome.
you want your guys to get as much rest as possible, just so you can be prepared for the long, tough battle that's gonna be up ahead. Like I already said, I'm assuming you guys are gonna probably gonna play the Rockets in round one. Should be an easy series. Should be like 5 or 6, something like that. And then you probably get the Spurs, and that's gonna probably be a long, brutal battle. So you want to get as much as rest as possible and get ready for probably a harder series gonna be the second. I don't think the first one will be too difficult.
Well, I'm
Unless
going to
the
look at
Raptors.
right now. Let me look at this, Legend, real quick. The schedule for both Minnesota and Houston, because they're tied right now.
Mm,
But by the tiebreaker, Houston is in sixth, Minnesota is in fifth. Minnesota is at Detroit, at Philly. They're at home versus Charlotte.
mm,
Those are all playoff teams. They're at Indiana, at Orlando, another playoff team. A crucial game will be on the 10th of April because they're at Houston and then they're home against New Orleans. So they have what are their last 7 games? They have 5 of them against playoff teams. Let me go to Houston now and see what's on the board for them. Let me go ahead and click on them right now with their schedule because, like you said, it looks right now the way they've been playing that you would think Houston. But who has the tougher schedule? I think I could tell you already because on Houston's schedule, they are home against Milwaukee, home against Utah. They're at your Warriors. They're at Phoenix. They're home against Philly, that game against Minnesota I was talking about, and then at home against Memphis. So they do have the easier of the 2 schedules, my friend.
mm. Ooh, this might be interesting then, seeing how this turn out. So you may not know exactly who is number 6 until the very last day of the season, possibly. So you just go in and kind of get an idea of, if I was JJ and the staff, I'd be look at both of them, scout both of them out,
Oh, yeah.
be prepared, because that's most likely how it's going to have to go down. And don't overlook them. I know a lot of people going to probably overlook them, go in this series with the mindset of this could be a long series. Who knows? Don't overlook anybody, because anything can happen. If anything, I think last year taught a lot of people with the T-Wolf, a lot of people, everybody in the world pretty much overlooked them. You don't overlook opponents. It can easily come back and bite you, and you look kind of crazy at the end of the whole series. So you got to take whoever you get seriously.
Tough. I actually got it about a week ago. Just to give you a heads up, the haircut. It's funny. That's okay because I walk around the house for like 2 or 3 days, and my daughters won't know I got a haircut. Seriously, or they won't know I shaved or anything like that. They'll just, oh, you shaved, or oh, you got a haircut, and I'll be like, yeah, 3 days ago. I've talked to you like had like 17 different conversations with you since then, but I'm glad. Thank you for noticing on such a timely fashion. And to get Jeremy's 2 questions, yes, this is from Summer League. It's NBA 2K26. And what's cool about obviously the Summer League, but you always get to see, like for instance, if Legend makes its way to Vegas and meets up with me there at the Thomas and Mack Pavilion, you get to see the NBA 2K27 because they'll actually already have a build of that that's available for people to go ahead and play at the during the summer league tournament. So it's going to be great to see. But I did also want to mention Jeremy's final question was to you: how much sleep do you get?
Whew. In the middle of the week, maybe like 5.5. Maybe about 5.5 in the middle of the week. Weekend, I sleep in good, but probably about 5.5, maybe 6. But a lot of the times, probably about 5.5 in the middle of the week wise. So in between my little lesson break time, I think I get like an hour and a half break. I might go catch me a nap in my classroom and then get ready for the next class. Then come home and take a nap and feel pretty good at that point. So
There you go. Yep. Same here. I'll be working late in the night, making sure the Lakers latest is sent out, making sure this is edited, put out for audio audience, and then by the time it's like 2, 3, answering a couple questions that from our international viewers and whatnot that ask me questions like 2, 3 in the morning. Then finally get to bed sometimes at 4, and it's just like okay, trying to steal a nap an hour here, an hour there. He JSJ, he better not say anything about my hair because then we'll just go right to his dye jobs. That because if you guys notice, he had one last week, and it's I'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. Again, don't go there. Don't cast stones, is the old saying, and I'll leave it at that indeed. But once again, it is the Lakers winning today, clinching the Pacific Division with a 127-113 victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, Legend, you are also a fan of the Atlanta Hawks right there, and they're battling in the Eastern Conference as we speak. It's a mess. I think you and I have to go ahead and have an upcoming NBA observations on this mess, but we'll do a little prep work for it right now. Your thoughts on this? Your Atlanta Hawks, as of now, and those are the key words, as of now, are fifth place in the Eastern Conference. They're such a great success story after that 11-game win streak. They're now 10 games above 500. They're ahead of Toronto, who's been sliding a little bit. The Philadelphia 76ers, they're all over the place, but they've gotten health. They're for the first time all season, really, they've gotten healthy and have all their key components there. Orlando, you don't know what's going on from one day or the next. Miami looked terrible within the past week. They lost. They're 3-7. Oh, the state of Florida in the past 20 games for them combined, 6-14 for the state of Florida. And then Charlotte, who you and I were so high on, they're 7-3, but they fell down to 10th in the Eastern Conference. They were looking like they were going to get the 5th seed this time last week. So I will go ahead and give people a sneak peek of what you and I talk about on NBA observations. Your thoughts right now in that mess of an Eastern Conference right now?
Yeah, you just got a lot of teams kind of going the wrong direction right now, going into playoff time. Orlando's been having problems the last couple of weeks. Miami has, to me, been a disaster since the 83-point game. Maybe that's the basketball god saying, should not have done what you did. Who knows? But, who knows? And you just got a lot of teams sliding. Toronto been sliding. I really would have thought the Hornets would have shot up a lot more than the way they've been playing. But I wouldn't underestimate them. I think they're going to make the playoff. They're going to be 7 to 8 seed, one of them. But there's a lot of teams that ain't playing good basketball right now. And the Hawks are just booming at the right time. And, man, this Hawks team is something special right now. The future looks really bright for this team, and I would call Milwaukee and say, "Nah, we're good on Giannis and hang up the phone. We good." We keeping Jalen Johnson. We good.
There you go. You guys look good indeed. But right now there's a 3-game separation. I mean, we talked about last year between third through seventh and how tight that was. Fifth through 10th right now is 3 games is separating all those teams. So again, that's going to come down to the wire. Right now, Charlotte is just a half game behind Miami, Orlando. They're right behind Philadelphia, and definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with that very hotly contested 5th through 10th spot in the Eastern Conference. And in the West, again, it's still pretty close themselves, but Denver at 12 games back, 2 games behind the Lakers, and a game and a half behind them is the Timberwolves and Rockets. And then Phoenix just looks like they're already just setting in it for themselves and playing and already coming to grips with that indeed, because it looks like they're going to run out of time right there in Phoenix. And hopefully they will probably get San Antonio Spurs in the playoffs at this point. That's going to be a tough matchup for Phoenix indeed. But also here today is a good man indeed. It is, of course,
John.
What's up, y'all?
The Zoom executive himself. He is the guy behind Lakers Corner. Go ahead and check out what he's doing today. And look who shows up right there. Yeah, there you go.
My dog.
First of all, it is, of course, Lakers Corner, and it is, of course, the 3-minute report that he provides. It is John Costa. John, great to have you here, Mr. Zoom executive. The Lakers got off to a little bit of a sluggish start. They were down at the first quarter, but decided in the second and third quarter to play some real ball against the Cleveland Cavaliers. How much confidence do you think that they can get from a win like today, where they really played well against a strong Cavaliers team? How much do you think that confidence will take them when they go in on Thursday and play in OKC?
I mean, hey, it's more meaningful than that Wizards win that we got, right? That Wizards win was just like whatever, it is what it is. You you were expecting us to beat them, and we weren't even expecting for us to be as close as it was. Now with the Cavs team like this, although be it that Donovan Mitchell had one of his worst games that he's had all year long, and credit to us, I think we played a pretty good job in that as well. But I also do know that Donovan Mitchell just went 4 of 10 from the field, and just the shots just weren't falling. This is a make or miss league, so it just it's kind of tough for him tonight. But I say all that to say, we can get a lot more confidence than what we can from versus that Wizards game. This Cavs team isn't nearly as good as OKC, but we could feel good knowing that we could beat some elite teams. But honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, Gerald. I wouldn't even call this Cavs team elite. This Cavs team has been falling in stock in recent years. Like, I thought that I think their window closed, to be honest with you. But yeah, to answer your question, Gerald, yes, I do think that we can get some confidence, but unfortunately, Cavs is not as good as OKC.
Before I get it back to you and before I get it to Joe, Legend's not falling asleep. He's looking down at his monitor right there. I know it. There you go, his phone. See, I do the same thing at time right there. So we're not falling asleep. We're looking at messages on our phone. So yes, live by the phone, die by the phone. But before I get it to Joe, a guy that I was a little critical of, and you've been critical of all season, Jake LaRavia. He had a great game today, perfect from the field, highest plus minus on the team. Really played well with great energy on both ends of the floor. He is someone that I had jumped on your train because of the fact, as far as it's concerned, the past 30 games, it has not looked good. Statistically, he was at 4 points a game, down from 7 or 8 or close to 10, actually, when the first part of the season. What do you think has gone? We lost Legend. What are your thoughts on that as far as Jake LaRavia and allowing him to go ahead and maybe find himself, hopefully for now, a confident run in the playoffs? But Legend, by the way, go ahead. He had to head to bed. So you guys want to know when he's going to sleep? He's going to sleep now. Please go ahead and support him at I Got Next Sports Media. Go ahead, John.
As far as Jake LaRavia, you guys know I've been very fair about Jake LaRavia all season long. When you play well, I like it, but you have to just at least play with that same confidence level. We'll see him have a 27-point game, and then we'll see him next game be scared to put the ball on the ground and bring the ball up court. We just can't have that, my dog. You got to play with that same confidence level, even if that night we don't need you to put up 27, but you got to keep the defense guessing. You got to keep them on their toes, right? You got to play confidently. So that's my thing with Jake LaRavia, right? Like when he plays confident, like it's great. He's always doing the intangibles. He's always running after loose balls. He's playing some good defense, but it's the offensive end I think for me the biggest question mark for him, right? Like one night we'll see him play real confident, him get to the hoop. I remember, Gerald, it was that post game. Then I forget what game it was now.
It was early on in the season.
Yeah, where he was just like, man, it's Euro stepping through the lane. And then next game literally had like 4 turnovers, and half of them were just from bringing the ball up court. And they were just like silly turnovers. And again, all this comes from a confidence place. He doesn't feel like he belongs at times. But again, the more run you get, prime example, Bronny James, the more run you get, the more time you get out there to play, you'll feel more comfortable. So, Jake played 38 tonight, had a solid 14-point game.
Cardio. Okay. Bronny got cardio today.
No, I'm just talking about in a sense of like the fact that he's even out there, he gets to improve because he gets a chance to be out there. I explained this just last night. He calms down. His nerves gets to calm down because he's done this before. But anyway, to answer your question though, Gerald, Jake LaRavia, if he can provide us anything on playoffs, I'd appreciate it, but I'm not expecting anything more but some nitty-gritty defense, hustling on loose balls, and then hitting some of them corner shots from Jake LaRavia.
Well, that's what you need. And when his shot started to go awry in the past 30 games, like I said, I looked it up and StatMuse for the past 30 games, and it wasn't promising. That's why I'm asking, because I was a little higher on him than you are. A lot of these guys were really super high on him, and he has been the Iron Man. And it's great the fact that he's going to play, or look like he wants to play, all 82 games, which Joe and I, as I said on the Discord, I'm like, okay, that's great. But playing 82 games used to be not a thing. Now it's a thing. So it's like, where are we at in 2026 in the NBA if that's the case?
Oh, wait, Gerald, before people run away, Juan Stockton. No, I said like how Bronny has gotten an opportunity to play, guys. I'm not saying Jake needs to play like Bronny. I'm saying the fact that Bronny has had the opportunity to play, like we've seen Bronny check in the second quarter, in the first quarter, in the third. He almost played the entire third quarter last game. So he has the opportunity. So his nerves calms down because for him, it's not so rare him being out there, but that's what I was saying. Juan Stockton, please, let's never play like Bronny James.
Yeah, indeed it is. But of course, John Costa, go ahead and catch him on Lakers Corner. His 3-minute report is right there for you. Please like and subscribe, and also like and subscribe to this man's channel. Of course, talking about the Joe Sorrell experiment. He watched the Dodgers beat the Cleveland Guardians. Still can't get that name right, but 44-1. It is, of course, Joe Sorrell. Joe, good to have you here. LeBron becomes the all-time wins leader with the victory today against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Lakers clinch the Pacific Division, clinch a playoff spot. As they head to Oklahoma City, what are the things that you're thinking about as it comes to the Lakers as they head into a game on Thursday and a game on Tuesday against the team with the best record in the NBA?
Well, congratulations to the 36-time Pacific Division winner, LA Lakers.
Just want to mention you're kind of soft right now on your mic. I don't think you have it plugged in.
Don't ever call me soft.
Yeah, I was going to say calling Joe soft. Whoa.
It's sounding soft, Joe. There you go.
You sound like he basically
your sexy radio voice, as I tell Josh Peterson, is not there.
Does it sound better now?
No, you don't. No. You're definitely not using your mic. That mic's not plugged in. There's no chance.
It's sometimes like your camera has a mic. My camera has a mic, and when that takes over, it sounds awful. Select.
I don't see anything
on your settings.
In the meantime, I'm going to tell Joe something. Joe, whenever I'm at my job, I want to kind of skedaddle, right, or like go do something.
Yeah.
I put on my calendar, a meeting. Just because, so if anyone checks my calendar, and I literally write Sin Blades and Zoom. So I always use beer company. So people are always like, why is John always talking to this Sin Blades company? I don't even own that account.
That's good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's still not through your mic. I don't know.
You're good enough.
You're good enough, though.
You're good enough. So.
Let me get back. I'll come back.
Okay, sounds good,
Right.
my friend. No worries. But again, John, it is the Lakers winning 127-113. Again, I think a lot of fans for the Lakers are looking forward to what's happening with Thursday and Tuesday's matchups against OKC. I guess to a lesser extent, the Easter Sunday game to see how many points Luka will put up on Dallas on Easter Sunday. Over under 50 on that one. But your thoughts again. I talked to Legend before you came on, and I'm talking about when you have these kind of matchups with two teams that already know they're going to go to the playoffs, that have a possibility of meeting in the playoffs somewhere down the road. Do you show all your cards? I know in OKC they will not show all their cards on Thursday or Tuesday. If you're the Lakers, you're not in the same position of strength. So how much do you show on Thursday and Tuesday?
I'm always in the liking of not showing all your cards because like there has to be something that you keep towards come playoffs. But to your point though, Gerald, I feel like a lot of it comes from like a place of a place of like position and comfort, just like kind of how you meant. Like I know OKC definitely won't, but that's because they really truthfully don't have to show all their cards to probably get the win. Now us on our end, we might have to pull out all the stunts in the deck to get the win. But I'll let Joe talk because.
How do I sound now?
Oh,
that's good.
Go, Joe. Come on, Joe.
Sexy radio voice is there.
I wouldn't. I'm not going to call him sexy, but it's a good radio voice.
I said there you go, the sexy radio voice. But it is Joe Soro from the Joe Soro Experiment. I'll throw the question to you, and I threw it to John again. When you have two teams that possibly may meet in the playoffs, and you're at the end of the season, and it's just a point where you're matched up on Thursday and on next Tuesday, how much of your cards do you show to that other team now? What do you kind of things do you throw so much of your game out there because you want to win and obviously lock up the third seed if you're the Lakers? Or what do you leave maybe like, to use the gun vernacular? And I'm sorry to say this, and I'm not trying to offend, but some bullets left in the chamber.
I would say you want to set a little bit of a warning for what's to come. I'm not saying they have to win both games against Oklahoma City, but if they won one and it was both competitive, I think that could be a nice little signal to everyone, not just Oklahoma City or the prognosticators, that the Lakers are serious. Watching tonight's game was interesting. I didn't like how they were playing the first quarter. They looked like they were getting beat up a little bit, and there was a big lineup there, which that's what San Antonio and that's what Oklahoma City have. They have better talent than Cleveland, but that was a larger team, and they were moving them around a little bit until DeAndre Ayton decided, you know what, I think I'm going to be DeAndre Ayton, the first pick of the NBA right now. And that set the precedent a little bit, and then Luka and everybody else did their thing. Going back to the LaRavia thing, it's crucial. It's going to be absolutely crucial for him to hit those open shots. That was the only gripe that I had with him during the year. Not because I want him to be this sniper, no, but you can't miss a wide open three over and over again by hitting the side of the glass. That just cannot happen. Rui, when he makes his shots from three and he's capable from mid-range, is a huge advantage as well. Austin's going to do what he does. LeBron is I actually think LeBron looks better this year than he did last year.
What makes you say that?
I think he's got a step vertically that I hadn't seen in a while.
And you know what, Joe? I actually think that LeBron's got a step, a whole nother step that he's going to get to.
I'll tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. Look, it's no doubt at this point that he's had the greatest NBA career in NBA history. You could argue that Kareem still has it, sure, but I don't know what the answer 100% is yet, but there's a chance that something could change within the next couple months. But with that, I still say LeBron has to be the second best player on this team for it to win a championship.
Absolutely.
There is no other way. If it's half and half with Austin Reeves, that would be great, but I don't see it. I don't see it because LeBron's seasoned for that life, whereas Austin has not yet seasoned himself for that life. Luka Doncic. Oh man, I don't even know half the time how many points he has, and then I look, he's got 30 points.
Second all time for the month of March behind Michael Jordan with 600 points.
LeBron was born to play basketball. Luka Doncic was born to play basketball. The only thing I wish I would have, if I had one wish, I wish 2020 LeBron was here, because then they'd be rolling over everybody.
He'd be facilitating like crazy. He'd be averaging like 15 assists.
Imagine the fast break on the second unit when Luka's sitting. It would be you wouldn't be able to sit anybody down at that point.
Going crazy right now.
The team. I'm trying to soak in game by game excitement. I don't want to think about the future yet. I just want to see how they play this out in the regular season, and then I would be in shock if they don't win in the first round this year. Absolute shock. Unless there's obviously a major injury with Luka or LeBron. But the point is, once if and when they win that first round, and I don't think I'm afraid of anybody at this point with the way they're playing. They could play Denver, they could play Minnesota, they could play Houston. I think the likelihood is going to be Houston, though.
Oh yeah, we love that.
If they play Houston, they're going to win that series in 5 or 6. I'm pretty comfortable with
Minnesota
that
has
prediction.
the tougher end of the schedule. Before you guys came on, we looked at it. Minnesota has a decidedly tougher schedule than Houston to end the season. Although there is a pivotal game on the 10th where Minnesota goes to Houston as well.
Gerald, Minnesota, Houston, none of them can fuck with us. Denver.
Okay, there you go.
Even Denver, even Denver. But again, like I
want you to go in the locker room before the series starts, in their locker room, and just say that. Just
be like, all these other teams, none of them can fuck with us. Only ones that I
go home
in a 7-game series is OKC and
go fishing.
Spurs. But go ahead, Joe. You can keep going.
It's exciting in a couple ways. It's beautiful that they're getting really, really strong at the right time of the year. If they go into the first round and they show some dominance in the first round, there will be some worry versus San Antonio and then eventually, hopefully, Oklahoma City. I'm not trying to make this sound easy. And I know Boston's got a little bit of cachet there too, but Boston has kind of been a regular season team anyways, regardless of what's going on. They've won a championship. They've been competitive. But they run into a problem a lot of times in the playoffs. They've left some series on the table because of certain inability to do things at the most important moments. They didn't have that problem in 2024 because there was a little bit of an easier path because they didn't see one option in the East, and then they ended up playing a Dallas team that was pretty much spent at that point. And that's not dogging on their championship. It is what it is. That a lot of this is the battle of attrition, and they were able to come through with it and take advantage of it. However, if they're going to be playing anybody that's formidable, those 3-point shots that they take in abundance and all those little angles that they take to the basket, they become a little bit tighter. And guys like Jaylen Brown, guys like Tatum have a habit of not shooting well or scoring well when they're really, really played well against. I think if they face, let's say if Boston gets through Detroit and New York, that's probably going to be their only competition at this point. They're going to meet either Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and then there's a small wild card in there in my book that says maybe the Lakers might be able to get over there. They would match up well against LA. LA would have to probably play like they did in 2020. But you don't have AD at his apex in terms of defensive prowess. But if these guys can KCPs and the Carusos and the
Danny
Rondos hit timely shots, be able to make the right decisions, right veteran decisions when you need them to, which that's tough to ask. Rondo's not just some random guy. Rondo's pretty damn good. Caruso's pretty damn good. KCP was pretty damn good.
Danny Green
kind of sucked there in the finals, but he's still that veteran guy.
That team, though, in general.
Well, sometimes the performance on from the basketball side might not always be everything in certain areas. Derek Fisher was, for those of you who don't remember or weren't born yet or were too young, you all get frustrated about Luka at the beginning not playing defense. You guys would have had conniption fits, and I can only imagine what would have happened on social media at that time. Derek Fisher got Trey. Why am I drawing a blank? The guard from Minnesota. You remember Gerald?
Trey.
Damn it! Oh, come on.
He got Mike Bibby paid. Yeah. Troy Murphy. Sorry, Troy Murphy.
Troy Murphy.
No, not Trey Murphy. No.
No.
God dang it! I hate when this happens. So he got Mike Bibby paid.
Because Mike Bibby was killing him in the blood.
Troy Hudson. Sorry, Troy Hudson.
Troy Hudson. Yes, there you go.
So Troy Hudson in 04. In 02, it was Mike Bibby. And then, of course,
hurting him hard.
Tony Parker. Tony Parker was not going to be stopped. That's why they went and got GP, and GP out veteraned him in 04. So what happened in 04 when they came back from an 0-2 deficit against San Antonio is GP started whooping his butt, and anytime he got to the basket, Shaq would put him on his pocket, and that obviously can't happen anymore. But that was what was going on then. And it wasn't. The Lakers are going to have to play with that kind of mentality because Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and maybe to some degrees, I think the Celtics have that grit, but not enough to perform in their normal settings of hitting open shots from three and getting to the basket.
Well, Tatum, if his jump shot comes back because it's not there yet, Joe, that's a scary proposition.
And that's going to be That's going to be tough for him to come back. I still say that there's a lot of issues there. From what I've seen, a little bit. I'm not going to say I've been watching a lot of Jason Tatum games since he came back, but in the little bit that I've seen, there is a little bit of that little half step that he's missing still to get back into NBA shape, and also getting his body to understand what's going on now since the rupture. I don't know if that's going to work in the playoffs all the way through. That's something we're going to have to wait and see. He would be a medical marvel if he ends up being an integral part of a championship team for Boston after a 10-month recovery from Achilles surgery.
Also, just real quick on that, Joe. I do think that there'll be a big drop off, not only like Jason Tatum's personal play, but that team play. Because Jason Tatum, at his best, is a volume shot taker. He is not like at his best a facilitator. He is not at his best a spot-up shooter. No, he's a volume shot taker. And guess what Jaylen Brown's been doing since Jason Tatum's been out? He's been being a volume shot taker. So that means that their entire offense is going to have to change. So that I do see a little bit of a drop-off. I'm expecting a little bit of drop-off there.
There's deficiencies in every team, with Oklahoma City maybe not having one, maybe injuries, you could say, sometimes creep up on them. They're kind of weak, brittle a little bit, but not to the point where they're going to likely have that problem unless it's a major injury. The kid gloves that they have on Wemby is something to monitor, by the way. Because the fact that LeBron has played more minutes than Wemby this year was a surprise when I heard that.
And they got him over Luka for MVP right now, Joe. Can you believe this?
Well, I didn't want to get heated here, I found out some information today when I did some research. I'm going to be hounding. I wanted to do this last year, but I didn't know where to get the information. I finally found it.
Well, he's second in the league in plus minus behind.
The thing is with this, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to sit here and say it's a Laker conspiracy. Sometimes it's not just sometimes we have to understand that it's just plain stupidity on why things happen. It has nothing to do with a conspiracy. You have any idea how hard it is to have a conspiracy where you have to rig a game from a league? A league will say, hey, protect this guy a little bit. Okay, I get that. But to actually devise a plan to set something up would be impossible because someone would have ratted somebody out by now from years ago, especially. People are not, they're about their own self-interest. And if there's some kind of scam going on and they end up, the perfect example is the Houston Astros situation. A former player. How about Eric Mangini? Eric Mangini is what got Belichick in trouble and the Patriots with Spygate. Guys are going to rat on each other if something's really going on. That's my way of deflecting the conspiracy theory type stuff. However, these voters that vote for especially in the NBA, especially the NBA voters, they are generally in the Mideast, around Ohio and the Northeast. Those areas despise the Lakers. And you're not going to be able to convince me based off the evidence that I've seen in terms of when and how these players have won MVPs. It is an embarrassment for me to look at the only way that these guys have become MVPs since the writers were responsible for voting. You have never elected a NBA MVP to a Laker who wasn't a 1 seed. That to me is malpractice in a lot of ways, because Kobe Bryant was the number 1 player in 2006, 2008, 2009, and 2010. And by the way, he was a 1 seed in each one of those areas too, by the way. And you still didn't vote for him. Shaq was robbed in 01 and 02. They were all robbed. Kobe should have had 4 MVPs. Shaq should have had 3 straight MVPs. And I would argue that all day. I don't care what AI did in 2001. AI can be as phenomenal as he wants to be, but he's never in any dimension or any 2D, 3D, or 4D world that anyone lives in was never more valuable than Shaq in 2001.
Yeah.
And 2002 when he was allegedly 415 pounds. I watched how he played. Shaq in 2000 to 2002 was the greatest force basketball has ever seen. Bigger than Wilt, and I know I haven't seen Wilt play, but I just don't see how Wilt could have been able to handle Shaq. I think Shaq could have done as best as he could, but maybe he gets off on him because just like how Hakeem kind of went at him. But there was a lot of factors in that. I think there was more of a mental thing with Shaq at that time when he was a little younger. But in the end, Laker fans have to accept that Luka will never probably be a multiple MVP with the Lakers. He may win 1, but I'm starting to get a feeling that these assholes are not going to ever give him an MVP unless they absolutely have to. Joe,
you know what it is? We're Laker fans, Joe. They love to hate on the Lakers.
It's beyond that. It's beyond that.
I know it's beyond that. I know it's beyond the hate. But what I'm saying though, Joe, is like you have to make yourself absolutely undeniably the MVP, because again, Joe, like if we take a step back, not even as Laker fans, if we take a step back and look at the MVP ladder, there's nobody that is actually bringing the same amount of value, which is literally what the definition of the term is, most valuable player. There's nobody that is bringing more value to their team than Luka Doncic. Take Luka out of this team is a playing team. And again, like when you look at the fact that, like how Gerald said, like LeBron has played more minutes, than Wemby, but Wemby is higher in the
Wemby's
the
only
MVP
trailing
ladder.
plus. If you're a believer in the plus minus, he is.
No,
second
I don't
in the
believe in
NBA
plus minus. I
to the
believe
SGA.
in being out there. When you can do something good if you're out there. Guess what? A 41-year-old is playing more than somebody that they have higher on the MVP ladder than Luka Doncic, the man that is leading the league in scoring and is literally the most valuable player for his team, keeping his team where he is. So again, Joe, the only reason why I say that they're hating is because yes, I agree, it's deeper than that. But the only reason why I say it is because what more do I have to fucking do? Like, what more? You know, that's one.
Here's why I say this. No one hated Barry Bonds more than the media. They couldn't stand him. But he still won 7 MVPs. They still had to vote for him. They still had the integrity of the game ahead of what they felt about that man. You see what I'm saying?
Those video game numbers he was putting up, you just couldn't avoid it, Joe.
And even before then, Gerald, even before then, when he was winning with the Pirates in the first year, the man won MVPs in both phases of his career. We got to be honest there with what was going on, right? So he has a little bit of a leeway there. You can say, okay, he was doing it when he was a $190. He did it when he was 230. But in the end, Barry Bonds' talent was undeniable. And no matter how much of an a-hole he was, they still gave that man an MVP when he should have gotten an MVP. There were a couple of years there where, Terry Pendleton ended up winning an MVP when he probably should have been him. And then some have argued that Jeff Kent in 2000 shouldn't have won it. Barry should have won it. That's fine when you've won 7. But the fact that you've had 2 of the most dominant players of the 21st century in at the top of their game, they were champions with each other. They were champions without each other in a 10-year span, and you only gave them 2 MVPs. Shaq and Kobe owned the 2000 decade. They owned it. Not Tim Duncan. Shaq and Kobe did. They won 6 NBA championships together in that decade. With one together and not together. They won 6. They owned that decade. And you gave them 2 MVPs. And then this is the topper here. I'm not gonna get too angry here. I don't want to get angry. I'm very happy right now. It's been a very good evening. These Rachel Nichols, who
she's on Sports Illustrated.
There's like this lying piece of garbage says I'm not voting for Luka because he only plays one way. This two-faced liar voted for James Harden in 2018 to win the MVP.
Wow.
Someone on Lakers Ball said something today. It killed me. I was actually laughing pretty good when I read it. He goes, Luka's defense looks like Sidney Moncrief's defense compared to Harden. I would have never thought that, but I thought it was hilarious. I don't know if I'd go that way, but it made me laugh. For those of you who don't know who Sidney Moncrief is, he was winning. He was the one that was right when they started putting in the Defensive Player of the Year awards. He was winning them at the beginning, and he was a guard forward guy too, whom the award should go to more than a big. And I'm not going to get into the details on that, but that's just what I'm saying. Point is, you voted for the worst defender that's probably ever existed winning an MVP other than maybe Steve Nash. And you a-holes gave Steve Nash back-to-back MVPs.
That shit was crazy, huh?
So your tails, you're liars. You're liars. You're all liars. Why is the heat always on this side? Because when you deal with liars and you know they're lying, they need to be told they're liars. And it really, really sets the stage for so many things when you call those people out. I'm not just talking basketball. I'm talking about every single day in life. And when I try to explain to people that, because everyone has the same reaction, everyone has the same programmed BS because they don't want to offend anybody. They don't want to be that guy that's always not happy. I'm happier than all these motherfuckers. All of them, by the way. I live an amazing life. I've said this 100 times. All you got to do is hang out with me for 2 weeks. When I get angry, when I find out you're a liar or you're full of shit, and I tell you in an aggressive way, or the volume goes up, whatever, doesn't mean I'm all stressed and now I got to go sit in the corner like a little bitch and recover. Okay, let me tell you this: when the firecracker blows, that's it. I go back to normal. Maybe it's a sociopathic tendency. Be thankful that I'm not. Be thankful that I'm not thinking about killing people. Instead, I use it in a positive way. And I keep parasites away from everybody around.
Let's see if you can continue that. Once I mentioned 805's comment, this is his first paid comment, and I appreciate the super chat. Gerald set up the LFB chat for the Lakers Summer League game. These guys get here, absolutely. Would love to do that as far as it's concerned, but we'll see if that happens. Again, it's all based off these guys' schedules. We'll see come in June. I'm in Vegas, so it's not too hard on that. JY says you can't be one of the top technical foul guys in the league and win MVP. Are we missing that point, guys?
What the fuck?
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
I got to do with anything.
And then 805 says, Joe, you are lying. You are a liar.
805's trolling. I get it.
Harden was a good defender in OKC.
Yeah, Joe uses the technique of positive visualization. By the way, Stein, the great line from The Sopranos. That's one of the funniest things.
Nice job, Steinbauer.
That's a good one. You're talking my language now.
Yes, you always can get him with
Christopher Moltisanti was the most negative guy on that show, and the fact that he would start a conversation with, "I used the technique of positive visualization." No, you didn't. You're a druggie and a bum.
805 says Harden stopped being a good defender after Meta World Peace elbowed him in the back of the head.
That shit was crazy. Yeah, I thought James Harden died when he got hit with that elbow.
That was I can't insane. Sometimes I go back and forth on which one I like better. That one or the Bynum on JJ Barea.
Oh, the JJ Barea one.
And I was so happy.
He took off his shirt and walked out.
Yeah, to me, that was the sealer for me for Andrew Bynum. I will always be a Bynum fan. He has said some classic things too, like closeout games are kind of easy, which the irony in that is whatever he was involved in those games, they actually were easy. They usually won. So it's like, why are you getting mad at Bynum for that? Every time he started,
what perspective do you have? Do you want him to have?
Why would you get mad at the guy? Matter of fact, if he was there in 2008, they probably win the championship against Boston the first time. It's like, why are you getting mad at him? He's right. Go look at the stats. Every time he started a clincher, they won the game. It goes back to what I was saying, that people are so programmed to be offended at dumb things for no reason. I was watching the enemies, the Celtic Laker enemy thing documentary on 30 for 30. The whole Isaiah and Larry Bird, right? The whole thing with Rodman saying how Larry Bird is just another guy because he's this white guy, right? And I'm going and he's not even mad at Isaiah, and everyone else is offended. I'm like, dude, if the guy he insulted is not offended, why are you offended? Well, look, Bird's wearing his little hat and he's sitting there. He's like, dude, I don't care. It's like, dude, why do you care? Why does anyone care? In the end, mind your own business. Do the right thing. I know it's subjective, do the right thing, but seriously, but let's really be honest here, okay? Luka Doncic busts everyone up.
Okay, now that was kind of suspect.
Stop thinking with your dick when I talk, man.
Well, okay. I'm not thinking with my dick.
I'm talking about basketball, not banging somebody in the rear.
You should say that
sick freaking maniacs.
Busting everybody ass.
No, I said bust everyone up, not ass. I didn't say ass anywhere in there. I don't know where the hell you heard ass. Rewind the tape. Anyways, the point is, Who is more scary in the NBA, in my view? Who scares the hell out of you right now when it comes to getting baskets?
Nobody more than Luka.
No one more than Luka. To me, that's how I base value in my book. Yeah. Steph, when he was at his peak, scary as hell. LeBron
coming off that screen.
LeBron might not be the most clutch guy, but the guy still is LeBron James, and he's going to jump over the building to get to the basket, right?
That 1 year, Giannis was super fucking dominant. That 1 year he won a championship.
Giannis was good. 7. Giannis was good, but Giannis was good, but it's such sometimes the game is so one extra little thing, just like like the Ori shot and the .4. One extra little thing that doesn't go through can change history. Phoenix had like 3 or 4 shots in game 3 where they probably win game 3, and then that was it. They would have never lost that series. And it happened again in the next game. You can say that about a lot of games, but especially that one, because you can't go up 2-0 and not win the NBA Finals. That's just not that cannot happen. I mean, look at Kobe's career. When he won game 1, he never lost. He never lost the series.
Never lost.
All right, John, before we head on out, want to go ahead and mention again 127-113. The Lakers win. They won the Pacific Division, clinched a playoff spot. A whole bunch of records are going to be mentioned out there as far as what they achieved. I'll go ahead and talk about that on my Lakers latest for tomorrow morning. But before we head on out, John, I know you have to go right now, although Joe is not letting you. What are your thoughts on what you're doing at Lakers Corner, my friend?
Check me out, Lakers Corner, guys. 3-minute game recaps after every game, weekly shows. Check me out on YouTube, it's Lakers Corner. Check me out on Instagram, Lakers_corner. And then TikTok, it is Lakers Corner 24. Same thing with Twitter, but appreciate you guys. And great Lakers win. And let's see what we can do here on Thursday. But looking forward to it. Great seeing you boys as always.
Absolutely. It is the Zoom executive himself, John Costa from Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Go ahead and check him out at Lakers Corner with his 3-minute report and all the stuff he's doing right there at Lakers Corner.
All right, Joe. All right, Joe. See ya, boys. All right, chat.
My friend. Hopefully we'll see you Thursday.
I don't know. Well, I will see because I do my runs on Thursday. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
All right.
We'll see, brother.
Are you still dominating in your rec league?
Of course. My team actually won a championship last season, and this season we are going to try to double back, and we got an even better player. So
okay. Well, if Luka can dunk in a game, so can you.
Hey, come on, man. I love it. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all, boys. I'm gonna see you.
Have a good one, my friend. And Joe, I'm gonna leave you with the last thought here before we head on out. Trayvon, great to have you here, Trayvon. Be a hot take. It's going to be a hot take here, but SGA, a great defender, like the world says. He is, I don't know if on that team, he just needs to be decent. That's all he needs to be on that team in OKC. He has I've never seen a so-called great defender get targeted in the finals the way the Pacers did on him. I don't think he's a bad defender, but sometimes, like in what we've seen, Joe, he gets targeted because he does so much for them on the other end. And that's the thing that could happen to Luka. Luka, it does so much on one end, he may be targeted as well in the playoffs on the defensive end.
I mean, sure, but this isn't going to be Luka dead tired in the 2024 NBA Finals. Or a dead fish like Kyrie Irving. I don't see that happening. The issue with San Antonio is, will Wemby be the 40-16 guy with 5 blocks? Then that's going to be a problem. And then Oklahoma City, if they play strong defense and are healthy and their offense is humming, it's going to be very difficult to beat them, regardless of what Luka does. Because everybody else on the Lakers is going to have to step up. I mean, to the point where they kind of look like the way they were tonight. They have to look like what they did tonight. Laravia has to hit those threes when they're open. I think Kennard's been playing amazing basketball. When he has an open, just a little bit of an opening, that's why I've been saying I want
They
them
gotta
to
feed
run.
him the ball, Joe. Like
Yeah, they
tonight,
don't feed
2
him the ball
shots in
because I don't
23
think
minutes.
there's too many ball handling players on the team that need to score off that. To see, Reeves is not a distributor. Luka's a distributor. Luka can do both, but he's more of a distributing scorer. And then LeBron is a timely shooter, a great passer, but I don't know necessarily if the way he orchestrates an offense is geared towards ball. Let's get the ball to Kennard. I think he's more react and read and just make the guy in front of him or the guy that you eventually pass to make a mistake just a little bit so that he can get the ball to that guy and they score right away. I don't think we're so used to, as Laker fans, we're so used to maybe the triangle and how you're going to get the ball to the open guy. That's the difference. That's the main thing that I remembered that I started to kind of. It's like when I bought my Tacoma in 2014. I had a Tundra before then, and those Tundras, the '04 Tundras, drove like caddies. It didn't feel like a truck. Then I get this Tacoma, which is a smaller vehicle, right? And I'm like, why does this feel weird? Why is this all kind of like it? It's a truck. It drives like a truck. It doesn't drive like a caddy like the way they created the Tundra in '04. So it's kind of similar to this. You don't, as a fan, you're sitting there, you're so used to the triangle offense and all those championships and all those years with Phil Jackson, where the ball, hey, we used to say, well, we got to get him open shots. And they would get him open shots because it's an equal opportunity offense. They didn't have a traditional point guard. This one has 3-point guards sometimes playing at the same time. So I don't think that usually is conducive in getting the ball to people in open spots. That's not how it runs. It runs on read and reaction. The rebounding will play a probably number one role should they get out of the first round and they play San Antonio and Oklahoma City. If they don't rebound well against those two teams, they'll get destroyed in 5 games.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers win 127-113. The Lakers clinched the Pacific Division, a playoff spot, and more, which I'll go ahead and describe. A lot of plateaus and milestones reached for LeBron James, Luka, Rui, and of course JJ Redick as well. So I'll discuss that for your morning breakfast time at 8 a.m. right around there on Lakers Latest. So Joe, I know you got some stuff planned out for the experiment. The Dodgers are off to, I believe, a 4-1 start after a 4-1 win today against the Cleveland Guardians. But what are you doing over at the Joe Sorrell experiment?
Well, I may do a show tomorrow to hopefully commemorate the current series win. I have full confidence that I think they're going to win tomorrow with Yamamoto at the helm. And winning series is the key in baseball. You're not going to go undefeated, obviously, but winning series is the goal, especially when you're at home. When you're at home, you have to win those games. You have to win the series. Today was great. Today was great in many ways. It was something that I hadn't seen in a long time, where I saw rain almost the entire game and not have it stopped. And
That's what I was asking, because the 7th inning and to the 8th inning took a long time, and I asked Craig, was there a rain delay? And he said no.
No, what happened was the mound started really, really kind of clumping up.
And they added sand to it, correct?
And they added sand 3 times. And of course, the problem, worse than that, is the cleats. It takes forever to get the clay sand off of their cleats. And I was just waiting. And I felt bad for I didn't feel bad for him, but Edwin Diaz came in and was not in a save mode because they had scored a couple runs before he went in that top half of the inning. They're up 4-0, and you could tell he could not get any kind of footing in the first few batters, and he ended up walking them. But then he ended up giving up a single, and then they scored a run. But after that, he ended up taking out the last 2 guys. I felt bad for him because it was getting a little bit weird towards the end. It looked like the rain might have been getting heavier. It was pretty consistent throughout the game, but then it looked like it got heavier in the last inning. But Ohtani pitched a gem. Ohtani went 6 innings, no runs. Won his first game starting this year, and bullpen was great. Bullpen is continuing to play well, and if the starters can get to 6, you're gonna have a really easy run here with everyone. And they haven't really played well on offense either. By the way, they've won 4 games, and their offense has been kind of anemic. That says a lot. Ohtani's not hitting home runs or hitting RBIs, but he's getting singles. He's walking a lot, but he's got that habit of starting slow at the beginning of the year, and then all of a sudden, week 3 comes in and he starts hitting 7 home runs in a week.
Were they giving out the Ohtani bobbleheads tonight?
Well, the Yoshi bobblehead. So Empire Jeff told me the reason here. I didn't know. I was surprised. I'm like, why are they having a Yoshi bobblehead night when Ohtani's pitching and Yamamoto's pitching tomorrow? Well, apparently they don't like to give away stuff when it's an earlier game.
Okay.
Because people have to go to work, and tomorrow's a 5:30 game. A lot of people can't make it in time, and I guess there was a line from like earlier in the afternoon for this Yoshi bobblehead.
Okay, so it's the Yoshi bobblehead that was given away today, because it
Correct.
looks like you could pre-order the Ohtani bobblehead for $160 right now. The Yoshi bobblehead that is now $250 to $350 right now.
I think that has a lot to do. I think that has a lot to do with the Nintendo side of things as well. They really cross promoted that pretty well, and Yamamoto goes in tomorrow, and he's already won a game. And if he wins tomorrow, you're looking at it's
Yeah, I
gonna
see
be
it at 805. Yeah, I see 805, but they tied it into Yamamoto. With
yeah. You're looking at something that's going to be very interesting in terms of how this will end up playing out. It's way too early to go there yet by a mile. You got to wait at least 3 months, in my view. But Ohtani has looked amazing on the mound. I mean, he looks like he is on. He is in 2023 mode.
The Yoshi character is wearing.
Or was it 2022?
Yeah.
The year. No, actually, it was 2022. That year, Gerald. That year with Anaheim, he had 15 wins. He had 15 wins as a pitcher for the Angels. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
So anyone who speaks about Ohtani in a certain way, I try to remind them. I go, well, what do you define as great? I mean, do you know anybody that's on a bad team that's getting 15 wins in today's era of baseball? And on top of that, dropping 46 home runs. Judge won the MVP that year in the AL because he hit 62 home runs. What's more valuable, though? What's more impressive? Somebody who won 15 games and had under a 3 ERA and hit 46 home runs, or some guy who hit 62 home runs? I don't know. I guess not that year. It was somebody else. That year was they justified something else there. I don't know.
So if you want your Yoshi Yamamoto bobblehead, you can get it for $300 on eBay right now. But you said it's a good time to be Nintendo. It's good and bad. They're about ready to release onto the world the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which is going to hit huge this weekend. The Yoshi Yamamoto is a big hit as far as the bobbleheads are concerned, but they still can't sell Switch 2s. Sorry, JSJ. Still can't sell those Switch 2s. But
so what happened with Switch 2s? Why aren't they selling?
$500 to start off with.
That's why.
That's why. Yeah. And
So
I
would
think
you
a lot of
say
people,
would you say that I should sell my Switch ones because people are going to probably want those first now?
yeah, the value has gone up with those as far as the
Because
Switch
my kids aren't
One.
playing with it anymore, and
Yeah.
I actually asked them. I said, "Hey, do you guys still want these?" Like, well, not
Throw it
really.
out there on a Facebook marketplace and see what you
Okay,
kind of offers you get.
we'll
That
do.
would be my suggestion. Or you could take it to GameStop or a local vendor and get credit on it. You won't get as much cash as you would credit. But my suggestion is, since you're familiar with Facebook, put it on Marketplace. That way you don't have to sell it if you don't like the offers, but you will get a ton of offers on it as
Sure.
far as concerned.
Sure. No, I'll let you know how it goes. I have two of them, so I'll probably I'll let you know what the market is out there. I'm pretty familiar with the marketplace. I sell a lot of stuff on there.
Carino, I talk the video games market on the Pop Culture Cosmos each and every week. In fact, we just ripped on our number 500 episode. We just ripped on PlayStation for jacking the price up again. 6 years, almost 6 years into its life cycle, and for the second time second time, Sony has jacked up the price. It's now $600 to get a PlayStation 5. Absolutely ridiculous. A $900 price tag for a PS5 Pro.
Not a lot of care in that industry. I've been maybe not directly in the thing, but I've been around it with my guy Jesse and Corrupt, and it's still
It's great.
it's still a complete shut in, and without selling your soul. It's similar to the music business, almost identical. Maybe worse because there's more money, I think, in video games than there is in music, especially now. And what do you mean? Why would I sell it to you? Where are you? 805. Are you in LA? But anyways,
Tell you. Again, I would give my best suggestion, because there's a lot of people looking at it, is Facebook Marketplace. That way they can DM you, but you can just say no if you don't like it and whatnot. So there you go. I would.
I sell. So I have a secondary business where I sell remnants from projects.
Like with your, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen you put up that same
Right.
thing like that.
Remnants, that's more from projects I do, but I also sell turf because I'm a dealer.
But make sure you put it in the marketplace section, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of people looking for.
Oh, no, without a doubt. I'm going to put everything together here this week, and I'll let you know what happens.
Sellers will be interested in what you have to offer.
For sure. And everything is clean. There's no smoke here. Obviously, everything still works well. I'm always trying to not have clutter when we don't have a need for it. I'm not going to get rid of my PlayStation 5. I use that still, and then I still have my PlayStation 3 because I can play everything from 2 and 1, and then 5 can be converted from the 4.
805, yes, he runs a turf company, so he does have a lot of extra side stuff.
I'm a turf expert. I'm a turf installer by profession, by primary profession, but I actually am licensed to do all landscape construction. I don't just do turf. If you wanted real grass, I could install it. We can do drainage. We can do walls. We can do concrete. I just don't do asphalt. Asphalt's a little out of my need of work. Fencing. We can do fencing as well. I may be getting into patio covers soon. I have a friend of mine who runs a solar company, and there's going to be a market for being able to put solar on a bigger market for solar to go on the patio covers, because the roofs are running out of room with the roofs. So by putting,
asking about electrical.
I mean, I got plenty of. I'm not licensed to do electrical, but I have electrical people. I have plumbers. I have all that. I have painters. I have my network is pretty vast. So if you guys need anything in terms of a referral or a reference to any kind of building or electric or plumbing, I got the best guys.
Yes, Master Chief is from the very successful Xbox series since 2001, Halo, and recently starred as far as the series on Paramount Plus, which is absolutely horrible, and you should not watch it. And if you do, you will lose years off your life. And I'll just say that. But again, it is like, hey, I cannot stand that show. I cannot. We roasted that show. It was absolutely a disgrace to video game adaptations. But Trayvon says, "Damn, Joe, I wish you was closer to Oklahoma. I would have used your company."
I appreciate that, but I hope to do something in Oklahoma. My brother-in-law owns a really nice cabin out there, cabin house. Is it Broken Arrow? I always forget what the hell the name of the area is, but
I can look it up.
It's the perfect area to film a horror movie.
It is Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
Yeah. It's out in the sticks. Very
Where
nice
are you
area.
licensed at? Which states are you licensed?
I'm licensed primarily in California, but it can the reciprocity. I know that's normally usually used for weapons, but I can work in Arizona, Nevada, but I still have to go and write something together. I don't have to go take a test or anything like that. I just have to go and fill out some stuff. No, I'm not nationwide black. I would need massive amounts of capital for that. I'm not gonna likely go that route unless it's tied to just turf. Let's say if I am able to get enough resources to do a better job at promoting the artificial turf business because it's such a horribly marketed product. Everybody does the same thing. That's what I would do. I'm in control of what I do right now in terms of the quality. And when you do that and you don't cow down to the economy issues or the people wanting the cheaper stuff, you're able to maintain it. The problem is you got to be able to continue to still work and let everyone understand, look, I'm not the Walmart or the Target of this industry. I am the Neiman Marcus or the Louis Vuitton of this business. The turf that I install is the best. My guys have been doing this for a decade. They're really good at it. I'm good at communicating. I'm good with being able to handle money. A lot of people in this industry are not like that. And there's a lot of competition here. So at some point, hopefully, if things open up the way I hope, I can expand it because it is $1 billion business if you do it right. It's $1 billion business if you do it right. Doing it right means aggressive marketing. And you need a lot of capital for that. And a lot of people can't speak the language the way I believe it needs to be spoken to. It's just basic. It's that everyone does the basic stuff. So one day maybe it'll happen. I have a lot of things in the fire. I'm just waiting for one to hit. One can bankroll all the stuff, and it may not happen either. It's very hard to make it. What's the term making it, right? The term in terms of making it in the business world is being able to make decisions every minute of the day, no matter what you need to do. What I mean by that decision is, can I fly to Japan to talk to somebody tonight? That's making it. You have control over your time 100%. Right now, I'm about at 80%. I can't justify flying to Japan because I want sushi right now. I could do it, but after a while, it's going to start to get a little bit testy financially. So the subject at hand here is we will do a show probably tomorrow. I'm trying to think. Are they off tomorrow, or are they off?
Yes, Thursday is our next game for the Lakers.
I know the Lakers are. I'm trying to see
the Dodgers.
The Dodgers are. Hold on a second. So they are off on Thursday. Oh, great! So they're off on Thursday, which means that'll keep us open, and the game against Oklahoma City is at
I think a 5 p.m. start.
Okay, perfect. So there's a very big chance that if I don't go on tomorrow, that I will have an experiment post show after Lakers fast break.
To get you that specific time again, just to clarify, on Thursday, guys, the Lakers will be in Oklahoma City. Oh, sorry, Joe. It's 6:30. They pushed it back 6:30 because it's a Prime Video double header. Yeah, double header therefore. So yes, they're on the back end of it. So that's it's at 6:30. So there you go, guys. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers win 127-113. Looking forward to what's going to go on in OKC on Thursday. I am nervous too, but the Lakers, if they continue to play as well as they have a definite shot both now and in the playoffs, indeed. So looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that. How about, yes, I have been out there at 805. It is a fun time. A fun time when you can go out there. The whole area of 51 out there. It's not just the Omega Mart, but there's a ton of stuff now that they've attached on it. Experiences, Top Gun experience, John Wick experience. There's a from Derry that's nearby it as well. Yeah, so there's a ton of stuff in that area. It's actually a huge area off the I-15 on the other side of the strip. And there's a ton of stuff that you could check out there, including the Omega Mart, which again, looks like a supermarket, but no, something a little bit more. And I'll leave it at that. But it experience, yes. If you go to Las Vegas and you get off the I-15 near Martin Luther King Boulevard, there is a It from Derry. Welcome to Derry experience, DERRY experience, based off the It movie series, and then it's obviously the hit movies. So yes, they have a complete recreation of the Derry experience there for you there. It's just off the MLK off of I-15 right there. So yes, if you're in Vegas, check it out. It's a scary good time, and I'll leave it at that. Yes, Omega Mart is expensive. Yes, all that stuff is expensive, and right there. I'm not going to argue with that. There's the values and bargains in Las Vegas they're still there, but they're not as prevalent as they once were, and I'll leave it at that. But again, if you do go check it out, there's an entire area off the strip, just off the strip, the area 51 strip, that has a whole ton of stuff and simulations and stuff like that. If you're into Top Gun, It, and John Wick as well. So
no, JY, I haven't thought about going to Texas. The real estate part of things is very interesting because I did have a mentor of mine solicit me to come work with him as a real estate developer. The problem is he doesn't have any guidance in how he wants us to do things. He says, you got to figure that out. I figured out that I need a whale. I can manage the development side of things because I sort of do that in a smaller scale in the landscape construction world, whereas the real estate development side is a little more hectic because you got to deal with permits, you got to deal with certain cities, you got to wait for things much longer for building electric, water, all that. But the foundation is great because he's been doing it for 53 years, and he's kind of looking to put a legacy together down here in Southern California. And they have over $500 million worth of projects that they can put together. It's just I need a whale. And I don't want to deal with 3, 4, 5 different investors. I'd rather deal with one person that has money that could throw in about $3 to $5 million, and then at that point, turn that into 30, 50 million in the next 5 to 10 years. That's kind of that's the assessment I put together. It's hard. I've had to bow out of so many things that probably would have put me in a much better position, but it might have been at the expense of my health. And that's something I could never do because I don't have stress in my life. I don't have stress at home. I don't have stress anywhere. I don't allow it in. It just don't. And money has to come in even with my enthusiasm. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. It's just not worth it to me. Money is nothing to me. It means nothing. It's a tool to me. And the tool pays. The tool is having the people to be safe in, to have vehicles to be able to go from A to B, things like that. And if you're going to sit there and tell me that you have opportunity to get more of that, okay, and with what cost? Well, Joe, I can't tell you that. Okay, well, you're not really helping me out. So you're telling me I got to figure everything else out like I have my whole life. Okay, well, if that's the case, then I need someone that can trust, someone that's direct. Because when you start dealing with big groups, people have problems, right? They have different stories about why they're lame and why they can't do things or why they're upset and all that. I don't have time to be a babysitter. And the saddest thing about getting older isn't about getting older and not having the adamantium anymore, or at least how it was. It's dealing with, it's understanding that the adults around me actually are more adolescent than children that I've been around. It's pretty sad. And
So,
yeah.
go
Sorry,
ahead.
I didn't mean to go into a TED talk
No.
there, but go ahead.
The people ask.
Well, yeah. Again, a lot of guys came at me with crypto. I had crypto for about 3 years. Started really, really understanding what that world was about. Ended up pulling everything out, and it was right before it kind of went down. It was pretty bad. I mean, XRP was touted as the next thing, and there was always that little part of me where I'm like, this is too public for this to be great. Usually, things that are too public, it's too good to be true. Bitcoin is more of a novelty thing at this point. It was the first, so there's a little bit more value there. That's why it controls everything else. Like when Bitcoin goes down, all the other ones go down. When it goes up, all the other ones go up. I'm not saying there isn't value there. I'm not saying that XRP isn't going to be the standard in terms of getting transactions the way we need it. But the thing is, I don't trust marketing when it comes to money. When it's too public, that means the schmoes are going to be the flies to the zapper. And there's going to be a lot more dead trying to get that than not. And I'm not going to fall in that trap. I went into it because a buddy of mine said, just put 10, 15,000 in this and just sit on it. Okay, I could do that. As long as I can get it back, which I did. Made money here, lost money there. I'd say probably made a couple grand in that time. And I'm not saying I'm not going to go back into it, but I'm just saying a lot of the stuff that makes you money, you have to understand most of it, you got to know what the hell it is. You got to be in it day in and day out for you to really, really, really make it work. People get lucky. People win the lottery. But are you going to win the lottery? Are you going to be lucky? Not likely. You're probably going to have to be the guy that works hard. And that's just what it is.
So once again, the Lakers win 127-113. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget, I've got an NBA observations I put up this morning with Caleb Ponce. Joe Soro hopefully will be live with the Joe Soro experiment, hopefully on Thursday night after our post game from the Lakers and OKC. Big game on that as far as that's concerned. So go ahead and check us out there. Don't forget, again, I have the Pop Culture Cosmos in episode 500, so go ahead and check that out as well. So, again, truly appreciate you stopping by, but we'll be back on Thursday for the post game. I'll throw some little bits and pieces to you guys on the channel tomorrow, and also as well, don't forget Lakers latest. Truly great to have you here. Once again, the Lakers with the victory, the Pacific Division champions once again, and clinch a playoff spot. What's up ahead for the Lakers? OKC. Will they do it as they, in the first of two meetings, I guess I should say, against OKC to end the season? Looking forward to it. No worries, Arcarino. While you appreciate it, keep at it with your homework, my friend. Wishing you continued success with your education and continuing success for everyone out there that catches us on a daily basis as well. So for Joe Soro, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing. We'll be back on Thursday for the post game. What will happen when the Lakers head to OKC? We'll find out as we bring you the best in Lakers analysis each and every time out right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. You know, when the Lakers are winning, this song just gets me more motivated. catchier. Got better
Yeah,
music.
that's true.
When it's losing, it's just like, eh.